All right, welcome everybody. Doug here with the LincolnList.com. This is the stock market weekly review for the 2nd of May. Hope all is well with you, and I do hope April was good for us. It was solid trading from start to finish. There was a lot of great opportunities, over 25K in gains again, and that's the sixth straight month at the Lincoln List that we've gone over 25K. So can May become 7 straight months? I don't know. But the best way for you to find out is to keep in touch with us or stay connected. Take a moment, visit thelincolnlist.com, join our live trading community, take a 14-day free trial, see it play out in real time, see it live, see all of this happen. But it's not just about displaying trading ability. It's about connecting with traders, learning how to trade, and becoming a part of it. That's what's important, is becoming a part of it and learning how to navigate your way through all kinds of markets. So if you're struggling, you need some help, take a moment, visit thelincolnlist.com, take the 14-day free trial. Now, enough with the little cheesy promos. Let's start talking about stocks. Let's start talking about the market and what we could expect as we move into May and a little bit closer to the summer. Finally, there on Thursday and Friday, we got some selling in the market. It was sort of like Groundhog Day. It was just so slow, it felt like, just back and forth, especially through the very beginning portions of April. You sort of have the same thing going on every day, maybe a little bit of selling in the morning, or you get a pullback here and there in the market, but the buy the dip was still there, and then it would just kind of melt up slowly and finish the day like that. And it felt like it was just going green forever. And I know there's some red days in here, but it certainly felt like it was just green every single day. So not a whole lot of volatility that was moving back and forth. Finally, there on Thursday and Friday, as I said, you did get some selling. You got some nice flush on Thursday that stayed down, which we haven't seen in a little while, and then it continued on over to Friday, and you got a little bit of bounce here. So as we move towards the week, if you're looking for, I'll tell you what would, better yet, what would be a great scenario that would open the door to a lot of great trades, is if the market were to flush going in 3 days and come down into this support in the mid 203s, which is about the 50 moving average now here on the daily chart. If that were to start out that way, I think it would open up a lot of great opportunities for at least some day trade longs. I wouldn't say getting long something and swinging it. That's not my style. But I think it would be a nice setup if that were to happen. If we bounce or this thing comes back right away with a triple digit day, then you might want to look at up above this 20 moving average and then maybe connecting with the 10 at 208.70. We'll see how it plays out. Nonetheless, now that we're going into earnings season, there are a plethora of opportunities, and we're seeing some of these stocks make some incredible moves that are opening the doors to some great plays in both directions. One of these is BGS. This is definitely something I want to look at going into Monday morning. This thing was solid Friday. This was nice. I'll just grinding. And towards late in the day, I got a little bit impatient here and started going in short at 40.10 with a small size, because I was like, well, it's probably not going to ramp. It's just going to float here. And like 30 seconds after I did that, it does ramps up to another dollar. That's okay. The position size is fine. Still with, and I'll tell you what I was thinking of, is this this high right here on 225, February 25th. I was like, you're coming right into this resistance. I kind of expected it to get rejected a little bit. Nah, didn't do that. And it's still up 23%, and that's fine. Even with being short from the low 40s, I'd still like this thing to squeeze to about 42 to 43 for me to add. If you're not in it, I think that if you woke up and this thing is poking its head around 42.5 to 43, that would be a definite short spot, I think. No, hands down, no question. I mean, this thing was 33. You'd be looking at a $10 move over a couple of days. Yes, I know it's earnings, but still there's a limit. You know, as I always said, the market will run up prices as high as it needs to become unattractive. And I think you're going to start seeing an unattractive price here. So 23% looking on this one too short. Same can be said here as well with SCSS. I don't have a position here, but I did trade this one a couple of times. We did in the room off of some of these little vertical moves intraday, which I like. But this one, you know, can gearing back so often as they do. You know, you'll see a lot of these stocks that'll get really euphoric in the morning, or they'll come out of earnings and they'll go parabolic like this. They'll just gap up like this, shoot straight up to 24.15, and then gets sold back off a dollar and shakes everyone out. And then it kind of gathers itself and then grinds back up, and by the end of the day there it was back up towards 24. So the same thing I'm looking at here is the same thing from BGS. Now this one didn't go quite as vertical, I would say, but you're close to some of the, let's see, I'd be looking at this little area right here. We go back into November, you got 26.63. So ideal, what I'm thinking here, ideally with both of these trades, so you understand, is you're not just necessarily shorting them because they're up 20%. That's a lot, but you also would like to get a vertical move on top of that, capturing some chasers. If you can get that move into that next area, very close to 26s, I think, into some of that resistance from November, you'd have to take a shot there going in shorter. I would like to take a shot there. So SCS and BGS would look pretty good in that way. Now I want to look at a long here, or maybe a scenario that might play out with Netflix. I'm sure if you're trading, you're familiar with Netflix. Not so good reception there towards earning and big selling. This thing was $110, gaps down to 94, sinks on down into 90, and it's been pretty much a bloodbath for Netflix since the earnings coming from 415. So at some point this will level itself out. You got some resistance, I mean not resistance, but you got some support at 85.65. I don't know if that's something that's in the cards here, and then ultimately down here at 80. I would be thinking after several red days that a bounce play is in order. And just like with shorts, you're not necessarily shorting something because it's gone up a lot or because it has a lot of green days. Same way you're not buying something just because it's down a lot or has a lot of red days. It's the move that happens. And the move that would be nice to see for this one is one last flush out, getting very close to that 87s area would be nice. Just toss it. Just, mark it. That's why I said in the beginning, if the SPY would flush, if you just open down, you're down 200 points, this thing starts sinking $3 or $4, I would definitely be looking at buying it. Now, if that scenario doesn't play out, perhaps a couple of tests here in this area of 89s, maybe you get back down into 88s or something like that. But if it can build a base and then maybe go red to green, you could see a move. What I'm saying here is within the next few days, starting at the beginning of the week, with all of the selling, you should have some retaliation or defense in Netflix, and you should get a bounce. Will you get you should get a bounce, but will you? Who knows? Maybe you don't. I don't know, but it's looking pretty good here. I want to keep Netflix up on the list for possible red to green or a flush buy. And then last, let's take a look at the CYBE. This thing is like ripped from 980 to 17. This is a huge move. So I wasn't really paying attention too much to this one on Friday, but I want to look at this as well. As I had mentioned earlier with BGS and SCSS, if you're going to if you're going to run strong, any stock that's going to run strong, high percentage amount, if it gaps up the following day, goes day number 2. I'm saying gap up, begins the day that way. Not if it flushes out and then goes red to green. That's a completely different trade setup. But just like those two, if it gaps up and you end up 20, 21 or something like that early, I certainly would be looking at this as a short as well. So I like this one. So just in a recap, we got BGS, SCSS, and this CYBE, all potential candidates for gap ups and runs and possible short trades on Monday. Will they work? I don't know. Otherwise, Netflix, we'll take a look at that one. And you could probably add some of the other FANG names in there if you want to look at Amazon, maybe a Facebook. Apple's had a rough go at it. Google, you want to look at those as well. You might get the same kind of early morning flush. So if we do flush early on Monday, that's the route I would take. I would go to those FANG names, looking for bounces, looking for some red to greens. Otherwise, I would stick to the strategy here of shorting some of the big paras in the morning. I always like to short big paras in the morning, so if there's a big para, most likely I'm on it. I'd be looking for that as well. So we'll see how that starts out the month of May. As I mentioned, I'm getting all tongue-tied here towards the end. As I mentioned at the beginning, it has been a solid performance going all the way back to last year, solid consistency in the trading room, and if that's what you're looking to build, because I can tell you right now, that's how you make money at this, not hitting home runs. Nobody makes money hitting home runs. They'll make short-term money, but they're going to end up grenading their account. If you want to stick around this game and you want to make it a career, you need to be consistent. Doesn't matter if you take $50 here on a trade or $100. You need to be consistent in your process, consistent in the way you do things, consistent with your whole game, and the gains will add up. If that's what you're looking for and you're looking to build that with a community, visit thelinkenlist.com. Take a 14-day free trial to the live trade room. As always, thanks for watching this video. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.